Since 1982, the law firm of Martin & Jones has represented thousands of injured workers and families in North Carolina. The firm is being recognized for the Defender of Justice Award, in particular for the extraordinary results achieved by John Allen Jones and Christopher Olson in working on 2 class action lawsuits. These cases, Tillman v. Commercial Credit Loans and Richardson v. Bank of America, are both consumer class actions involving the sale of costly credit insurance premiums to some prime borrowers. The cases were recently settled for a combined total of over $81 million, among the largest settlements in state history. In addition to the results achieved for the individuals involved in the case, both establish important judicial precedent that will protect consumers in North Carolina for years to come. In an era where class action attorneys are too often criticized for selling out the interests of their clients in exchange for large attorney fee awards, the law firm should be particularly commended. These cases were extremely hard fought, funded by large financial institutions. What North Carolina Lawyers Weekly called a long, hard fight is an understatement. The cases were litigated for 7 years, involving trips to the federal courts and our state court of appeals. The law firm invested over 15,000 hours and expended over $300,000 litigating these cases. Martin & Jones is truly deserving of the 2009 Defender of Justice Award for litigation.
A funny thing happened on the way back from a deposition in the summer of 2000. As I drove along listening to All Things Considered on the radio, there was a story about an elderly African-American woman from Mississippi who had been victimized by predatory lenders. And I was not familiar with predatory lending, but it got me to thinking, I wonder if that's going on in North Carolina. Well, that began an 8.5-year journey that took our law firm and my partner Chris Olson and myself through the courts of North Carolina and all the way to the North Carolina Supreme Court twice, in class actions that we filed against Bank of America and Bank of America subsidiaries and Citibank subsidiaries on behalf of working poor North Carolinians who'd been victimized by predatory lending practices. Ultimately, we were able to provide a substantial amount of compensation for more than 11,000 North Carolinians and make some law concerning unfair trade practices, consumer law, and also arbitration clauses that will protect North Carolina consumers for generations going forward. It was an honor to receive this award, and I can't think of anything I'd be happier about to be honored for than helping North Carolina's working poor. It's why I became a lawyer. When I got out of law school in 1982, I went to work for cotton mill workers who had been put out of the mill when they couldn't breathe well enough to work anymore. And they were, in a lot of ways, like these people who were victimized by predatory lending. They were honest folks trying to do the right thing, and they were taken advantage of. I'm honored to receive this award. I'm proud of our firm for being able to hold its own against some of the largest firms, not only in North Carolina, but from around the country. I'm proud of the judges in North Carolina, from the trial court level to the appellate court level, who made tough decisions and didn't follow the path of least resistance. And I do owe some thanks. I guess first I'd like to thank the producers at All Things Considered for having that article on the radio that day, or that story on the radio. I'd like to thank my wife Amy, who was very supportive all those nights and weekends that I was not around to help with the children. I'd like to thank my dad for my work ethic. I'd like to thank my mom for my open mind and my intellectual curiosity. I'd like to thank all the lawyers in the firm for supporting us for 8 years while we pursued these cases. And I'd like to thank Chris Olson for being such a great foxhole buddy. Thank you very much.
On behalf of myself and my law firm, thank you very much to the Justice Center for this honor. To be honored by the Justice Center, an organization that has done so much good for so many people in North Carolina, truly means a tremendous amount to me. I am humbled to be among the select group of lawyers to receive this award. In addition to thanking the Justice Center and their board for this honor, I would be remiss if I didn't also express our sincere gratitude for the Justice Center's help in litigating these cases. In both cases, the Justice Center submitted front of the court briefs to our appellate courts, urging the courts to side with the subprime borrowers we represented. A special thanks to Carlene McNulty for her excellent assistance with those briefs. For many years, Carlene has been a tireless and dedicated advocate for disadvantaged North Carolinians, and it was a privilege to have her on our side in these cases. I'd also like to thank my firm, Martin & Jones, my partners, and all the staff there who helped with these cases. Working on these cases, winning important appellate victories for North Carolina consumers and class action plaintiffs, and securing substantial refunds for thousands of North Carolina borrowers was truly an exhilarating experience. It was the hardest I've ever worked, but it was also the most rewarding professional experience I've ever endured. Thank you to my firm for giving me the opportunity to spend substantial parts of the past 8 years working on these cases. I'd also like to thank my wife Jennifer for her support during the nearly 8 years these cases were fought. She was very patient during the many long days and long nights where we didn't get to see nearly enough of each other. She was a great sounding board for arguments, and her support and input was truly special, and it was rewarding to share this with her over these years, and I'm so glad everything worked out for the class of borrowers that we represented. In closing, I'd like to thank the Justice Center for this honor. I'd also like to thank all of you for supporting the Justice Center in its mission of advocating and speaking for disadvantaged North Carolinians. Thank you very much.